The Metaspeed Sky Paris is one of the more popular super shoes if you look at any starting line of a major marathon. But with the release of the Tokyo, does it make sense to grab the old one on sale or grab the new model? Today, let's break it down. What's up everybody, I'm Eric McIntyre, aka Rad Dad Bod, and you're watching Rad Dad Bod TV, where we review running shoes. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, you may notice some timestamps below. Feel free to jump around to the various parts of this comparison, but if you do so, I'd sure appreciate if you come back, watch the full thing when you get a sec, as I put a lot of time and effort into these videos. Now, disclaimers and disclosure are that I actually bought both of these shoes with my own money. That being said, I have received Asics in the past for free for the purpose of review. Anytime I do receive product though, I'm not obligated to make any specific content. I'm not paid, I'm not given talk tracks, talking points. All thoughts are entirely my own and no one watches the content beforehand. Now, as far as intended use of these shoes, these are super shoes. So really they're primarily designed for the marathon so that you can run a fast marathon, but in reality, a lot of people still use them for, speed workouts and racing at other distances, but primary use is going to be the marathon. And so that's how I'm going to be discussing them for the most part today. Now, from a price standpoint, the Metaspeed Sky Paris came in at $250 upon retail. Obviously, you can find it for cheaper now, but at full price, it was $250. The Tokyo now comes in though at $270. So we are seeing an increase in price, and that's not just with Asics, but that's consistent pretty much across the board. From a specs perspective, they're going to be fairly similar. So the Tokyo has 40 in the heel, 35 in the forefoot for a 5mm drop, and the Paris listed at 39.5 in the heel, 34.5 in the forefoot for a 5mm drop as well. So really maybe a 0.5mm difference, but 5mm drop for both. Then from a weight perspective, the Tokyo does get lighter. It comes in at 5.6 ounces as opposed to the 6.4 ounces in the Paris, and that also translates to 159 grams versus 181. So we're getting a little bit lighter overall while adding a tiny bit more stack. Now from a fit perspective, both fit true to size lengthwise. I will say that to me, the Tokyo fits a little bit more generous in the midfoot area. For the most part, they both have kind of, I would say, standard to wide toe boxes. Toe boxes with good room. They both have narrower midfoot areas, but again, the Tokyo is a little bit more spacious, and then the heels, I would say, are standard for both of them. The uppers are fairly similar as well if you look at both of them. So this is the Motion Wrap 2.0, and this is the Motion Wrap 3.0. The knitting is a little bit different. I think that there's probably more holes on the Tokyo. The biggest difference between the two, I think, comes down to kind of the volume of the upper. So I found that the Tokyo fits a little bit more snug overall, where I felt like the Paris was a little bit baggy in some areas, and you can even kind of see just in how the material sits when my foot is not in there. The Tokyo just seems to have a lot more dialed overall fit. The heel, though, has a lot more cushion, or not a lot more, but just kind of around the ankle area. There's a little bit more cushion in the Paris versus the Tokyo. I think they kind of sacrificed maybe a little bit of comfort for weight. However, I still think that the better lockdown, the better fit is more than enough to make up for comfort. And frankly, I didn't notice a huge difference in the comfort, if any at all. Both of them have non-gusseted tongues, which is a little bit annoying, but again, they're trying to save any weight that they can with these types of shoes. And both of them have those nice premium laces, which is super, super good. The big story here, though, is going to come in the midsole area. So with the midsoles, you have FF Turbo Plus in the Paris. You then have a carbon fiber plate that runs through the shoe as well. With the Tokyo, you have actually a top layer of FF Turbo Plus, which I believe is a PIBA based foam, by the way. And then the bottom layer is FF Leap, which is the new foam from Asics, and it is ATPU. The sensations underfoot of the two are very different to me. The Sky Paris feels closer to the ground. It feels snappy. It feels kind of explosive. I feel like it was really good on the track, even though it's obviously not a track oriented shoe. Great for short, fast intervals, great for speed work. For me, the foam felt firm, and because of that, I didn't think it would be super comfortable for me across 26.2 miles. Meanwhile, the Tokyo is kind of the opposite. I've taken it on the track, and it almost is a little bit too bouncy feeling, not really a feeling of ground feel. It's still very fast, it's very comfortable, but it feels higher stack. It's not, but it feels that way. I feel like it's very, very much more of a bouncy stride, less snappy stride, and something that allows you to hold kind of a pace for a longer period of time. And I think it's not quite as good at the shorter, faster. So for a longer marathon training session or marathon in general, that, you know, the Metaspeed Tokyo feels like it fits at least my stride a lot better. The other thing is the stability of the Tokyo, to me, is significantly better than that of the Paris. The Paris, it kind of has that really narrow midfoot, and then it's pretty thin or pretty narrow there in the back in the heel area. Just something about how the geometry of the base of the shoe is set up makes it, though bouncier, a lot more stable to me and a lot easier to hold kind of a pace, aggressive pace over a long period of time. I'm a really big fan of the ATPU FF Leap, and in this package it seems to be a lot more durable than what you get in the Ray, and not quite as soft and squishy, though still soft and bouncy. Now moving to the outsoles, both have Asics grip, and the outsole coverage is pretty much the same. You kind of have that exposed heel and kind of midfoot or midsole area. The grip on these shoes does really, really well, even if it's a little bit slick. I won't say that it's like the best grip on any super shoe out there. I think there are better grips. You know, I think that Puma grip on the R3 is a lot better. I think that the poured rubber on the Adios Pro line, or the Pro Evo line, as well as the Pro line, frankly, I do think also is better, that light Traxion rubber, right? But the Asics grip still does really, really good, and I didn't have any concerns when wearing these shoes. Now, as far as my pick between the two, I think that, frankly, I could use these, like if I want to do fast track session, if I want to do faster, maybe like a 5K, road 5K, something along those lines, I may lean more towards the Paris, which allows me to, I think, be a little bit more aggressive, kind of attack the ground, attack the race a little bit more. But if I know I need to hold the pace for longer and need to feel comfortable, then the Tokyo is kind of the one I lean towards. In fact, of all the shoes out there, right, like the fastest ones, like I just hit a 5K PR in the R3, that was really awesome for the 5K. It had me kind of wondering if I could sustain that stride for a full marathon in that shoe. And now after running a fast 5K in it, I'm starting to kind of doubt it. So I'm looking for something that maybe is going to be a little bit more stable, maybe is going to give a little bit more cushiony feel underfoot, but still be equally as fast. And that's where the Tokyo really seems to shine for me. So I'm taking it out for a 15-mile progression run today, or not today, but this weekend as well, to kind of start to test it in those paces. And I'm really excited to see how it holds up. But between these two, I do think I lean more towards the Tokyo, at least for the longer intended use. So just some final thoughts. Asics, very, very few misses this year overall. Every shoe I've tried from them has been amazing. Honestly, they've done a phenomenal job. So I'm really excited to see what's to come from them and how they're going to continue to integrate the FF Leap into their shoes. I think the Magic Speed 5 is going to have some. I think that the Superblast 3, I'm hearing, might have some too. So really, really curious to see what that's going to look like. But anyway, if you watched this far and you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, please consider doing so today and turning on those notifications so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. If you'd like to support the channel, you can use any of the affiliate links in the description below. We have RadDad20, which gets you 20% off any Walloco gear. So if you're in need of any half tights, full tights, as winter's coming, right, use RadDad20 at checkout for 20% off. And if you're in the need of any running gels, electrolytes, just snacks, anything along those lines, and you already have fuel that you like, you can use RadDad at checkout on fuel goods to get 10% off, as well as earn some fuel cash back. So essentially you're kind of getting double discounts there. So if you want to support the channel, that's a really, really good way to do so. It allows me to continue to review shoes and continue to invest back into the content. So just to wrap up, I'll leave you with a question, which is, where did the Metaspeed Sky Paris rank for you as far as super shoes last year? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks, everybody.